back. Today again we'll be doing with chapter 4, that is trade and globalization. Okay, starting off, we'll be dealing with the post-war international economic order. Okay, so the Second World War, okay, which was fought between the Axis power and the Allied powers. Okay, so in the Axis power we have countries like the Nazi Germany, we have the Empire of Japan, we have the Kingdom of Italy. Okay, and the Allies were the British, France, USSR, and USA and China. Okay, they were the ones who were fighting the Second World War against each other. Okay, so the war continued. Okay, so the Second World War continued on for a very long period of time. Okay, and in this battle, okay, around 60 million people were estimated to have been killed, okay, due to the war. Okay, and also many parts of Europe and Asia were devastated, and huge losses came to emerge after the war. Okay, so the war caused a lot of damage, okay, and economic loss in many parts of the world. Okay, the war was not only fought on land, it was fought both on water, it was fought both on air, it was fought on land as well. Okay, which combined together devastated most of the countries around the world. Okay, and so the post-construction, okay, the post-construction recovery, or the recovery, was very difficult. Okay, and so there were two important countries, okay, which rose to power. Okay, that was US emerged as a dominant political unit after the war. Okay, as well as economically it also increased, military power also increased. Okay, with the war coming to an end, US emerged to its peak power in politics as well as in economy as well as in military power. Okay, adding to this, okay, the second was the USSR. Okay, that is USSR, okay, which is also known as the Soviet Union. So what happened was, it made huge sacrifices battling the war with the Nazi Germany. Okay, and it was also successful as well. Okay, so USSR, which was also known as the Soviet Union, was a farming economy. Okay, was a farming economy prior to the World War II. Was a country which depended on farming, okay, and it was very backward. But what happened after the war broke out? Okay, it transformed from an agricultural economy, okay, from a very backward agriculture economy, okay, it transformed itself into a world power. Okay, and with this, okay, USA and the USSR, okay, which is the Soviet Union, they went up after the Second World War ended. Okay, they increased in power. Okay, the next is the Bretton Woods Conference. What happened during the First World War? Okay, we saw a lot of changes in the First World War. Okay, what happened was, people during the First World War, most of the people were doing agriculture, right? So when the war started off, people started leaving the agricultural field and they started working in industries. Okay, because it was benefiting them more and more. Okay, so what happened was, after the war completely came to an end, okay, people began to lose their job because the production which was made during that time was not needed at large. Okay, and so what happened was, people began to lose their job, they didn't get money. Okay, people went into poverty, many unemployments happened during the First World War. Okay, so the same thing was happening in the Second World War too. Okay, so what happened was, some concerned people, they thought that if it continues like the First World War, okay, the economy of the countries, okay, if it goes to the same path, okay, as World War I, okay, then people would be affected at large. Okay, so according to the Bretton Woods, okay, what they wanted was, they wanted to bring economic stability all around the world. Okay, so that people will not suffer, employment will be there. Okay, with which, okay, the group of people, okay, group of people, they came together, okay. Both the United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference, okay, was held, okay. The Bretton Woods Conference, okay, it was formerly called as the Bretton Woods Conference, was held in July 1944, okay, and it was held in Bretton Woods, that is located in New Hampshire, USA, okay. And according to this Bretton Woods, mainly to control, okay, or bring an economic stability all around the world, so that after the war, okay, it would not affect the whole of the country, okay. So by 1944, the Second World War came to an end, and so they didn't want a second economic failure like that it happened in the First World War, okay. So according to this Bretton Woods Conference, they came to a conclusion, okay, to regulate the international monetary system, okay, and with which, okay, they decided, okay, the chief features were to create a set of rules that would maintain a fixed exchange rate, okay. There would be a fixed exchange rate, okay, where second point, guarantees that changes in exchange rate would occur only in the face of long-term persistent deficit and surplus imbalance, okay. So exchange rates, okay, will not happen year after year, but it will happen for a very long period of time. Once fixed exchange rate has been made, okay, it will last for years, okay. It will not be changed after 2-3 years, okay. It was for a very long term, okay. Ensure that when such things did occur, they would not spark serious competitive devaluation, okay. When they have such kind of incidents, okay, what happens was they were to maintain an economic system which would not affect the entire world, okay. So the Bretton Woods Agreement came up with two broad bodies, okay. That is, they establish, okay, under the Bretton Woods, okay, these two groups come, okay. That is the International Bank, okay, which is also known as the World Bank. That is the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, okay. This was two set of groups which came under the Bretton Woods system, and also the IMF, which was known as the International Monetary Fund, came into existence, okay. Both these groups had different rules to play, okay. So the International Bank, okay, for Reconstruction and Development, okay, which was also known as the World Bank, what they did was they helped countries, okay, who fought the battle, okay. Once they fought the battle, cities and towns were crumbled down to dust, okay. Roads were being destroyed by the war. So what they had to do was, this World Bank was to help these countries in order to rebuild their country back, okay. That was the role of the World Bank. Whereas the IMF, okay, IMF was established in order to have a stable currency, okay, as well as it was to promote world trade, okay. So these two had dual roles, okay. And today also World Bank plays a very crucial role, okay. They try to aid countries, they try to give money to those countries, okay, which are developing, which are going through poverty, okay. So this is helping. Whereas the IMF, okay, what it tries to do today is, what they do is they try to maintain an equal stable balance, okay, so that we will not go under economic declination like how it happened after the First World War, okay. It tries to maintain a stable economy, and also tries to check the countries who have deficit, who have debt, okay. They try to monitor that, okay. And also this IMF does not use money, okay, whereas the World Bank used money in order to uplift as well as bring up the society, okay. Whereas the IMF does not use money. Okay, what it does is it tries to check on the countries which have deficit, as well as try to maintain a balance in the world, okay, in the world economic matters. So the chief feature of the IMF, okay, was to adopt a monetary policy, okay, a common policy, okay, within a maintained exchange rate. I've already told you a fixed rate was being made, okay, which was not supposed to be changed, okay, for a very long period of time, and also plus or minus 1% in terms of goal, and the ability of the IMF to bridge temporary imbalances in imbalance of the payment. Okay, so what the IMF has to do is basically balance the economy of the world. Okay, that was the features of the Bretton Woods. So what happened after the post-war? There became rapid development happen. Okay, rapid growth in most of the countries happened, and also it was not a good scene as well. Okay, though it did not face problem like the First World War going into Great Depression. Okay, what happened was US dollar, which was used during that time, okay, felt very low. Okay, the currency of the dollar went down. Okay, it was comparatively lower than the price of gold. Okay, when we can just check it out in the picture also. So what happened was the US currency fell completely, okay, compared to that of the gold. Okay, and also they tried, according to the Bretton Woods agreement, they wanted to have a fixed exchange rate. Okay, they wanted to have a fixed exchange rate, but that was not helping as well. Okay, it only led to the decline of the economy as well. Okay, so from mid 1970s, okay, what happened was international financial system changed. Okay, which completely hampered the Bretton Woods agreement or the Bretton Woods system. Okay, so most of the countries, okay, developing countries, they depended on these IMF and international banks, okay, in order to lend loans, okay, in order to take loans in order to improve their country. Okay, but what happened was they had no other option, because these international banks or international institutions were not able to support them, and so what happened, they were forced to take loans, okay, from Western commercial banks, from Western, okay, private banks. And these also led to debt among the countries, among the developing countries. Okay, and it increased poverty in most of the regions, okay, especially in regions of Africa and Latin America. Okay, what happened in this juncture? Okay, what happened in this juncture was many of the industrial world, okay, many of the industrial countries, what happened, they were again hit with unemployment like that period of the Great Depression, which happened after the First World War. Okay, so it went up till 1970s, and then it went up to the early part of the 1980s. Okay, but however, from 1970s, okay, a large number of multinational corporations began around the world, okay, which also began to change the perspective of the world economy. Okay, so China, okay, country like China, they had to cut off from the post-war world economy. Okay, because soon new economies policy in India began to emerge. Okay, with the collapse of the Soviet Union, okay, in Eastern Europe, brought many countries into the fall of world economy. Yeah, so they followed the Bretton Woods system in order to maintain equal fixed rate. Okay, in order to maintain a fixed rate so that they will not go into a Great Depression. Okay, but what happened? 1970s and 1980s, most of the people became unemployed. Okay, whereas countries like China, okay, they, instead of falling down, okay, they try to bring back up, okay, bring themselves up. Okay, and by 1970s, many multinational corporations came out. Okay, so China began to boost up as well. okay, and many multinational corporation, okay, companies, okay, came up between the year 1950s and 1960s, okay, and also British US business expanded, okay, and it became worldwide. It boosted up in Western Europe, Japan, okay, all these countries, okay, all these countries started achieving economic bringing up a balanced economy in their country, okay, even though they had faced so many difficulties after the post-war, okay. Bretton Woods was not very successful, okay. Bretton Woods was not very successful, and this Bretton Woods was considered as a failure, okay. But what happened was it did not lead the countries of the world to go into a Great Depression like how it did during the First World War, okay, and with which, okay, many multinational corporations came up, and it started building up the economies all over the world. So the next topic is globalization. We've already discussed what globalization is, okay. With the advancement of technology, the interconnection, okay, where things are very easy, okay, transportation of goods are very easy, contact between two people are very easy because of the advancement of technology, interlinking one another, okay, into a global world. It is called as globalization, okay, where things are very easy, okay. Globalization is a process of worldwide coordination of political, economic, social, scientific and cultural life of the people, and successfully aims at unifying at physical and psychological level, okay. So it is just the interconnection of people as well as country from one place to another that is called as globalization, okay, with which, okay, advancement of technology, advancement of transport and communication has increased, okay. So when transport and communication are easily applicable, what happens, okay, it makes things very easier. We can be able to connect from one place to another at a very fast rate, okay. And globalization, okay, there are 4 features in globalization, okay. The first one is eliminating trade obstruction to facilitate free flow of goods, okay. So if any kind of obstruction, okay, if any kind of blockages is there, okay, what they do is they try to eliminate this kind of obstruction which is in the way, because they want free flow of goods, okay. When we have globalization, there should be a free flow of goods from one place to another. So any kind of obstruction, any kind of trouble which is there, they will be able to remove it, okay, so that there will be a free flow of goods, okay. Number 2 is creating condition conducive to free flow of capital. Also, capital, in terms of money, there should be free flow of capital. You should be able to spend much money, okay, on something, invest something, okay, in which you will get the benefit out of it, okay. So there should be free flow of capital, okay, investing much, okay, as well as getting back whatever you have invested, okay. Next is number 3 is creating an environment for free flow of technology, okay. Technology plays a very important role in this modern era, because through technology everything is interconnecting, okay. Because of technology only, there is globalization happening at a very large scale, because from one end to the other end we are able to communicate within seconds. We are able to travel from one place to another because of technology only, okay, and advancement of technology. And lastly, okay, we have creating an atmosphere for free flow of labor, okay, and this is most important for the point of developing countries, okay. So what they try to do is we should also have free flow of labor, okay. There should be abundance of labor who is ready to work, okay. If we don't have labor, okay, if we don't have people who do work in our companies, do work in our factories, okay, then we will not be having a global world, because it is only through the labor force, okay, we are able to do inducive work, okay, we are able to connect with other countries, we are able to connect with people who are living in different places, okay. So there should also be a free flow of labor in the present context. Next is the impact of globalization, okay. So according to this, okay, what are the impacts which led to which are caused by globalization? What are the changes which are caused by globalization? The first one is, in the wake of globalization, when globalization was growing at large, okay, what happened was, poor and underdeveloped countries, they had to remove this non-tax restriction, okay, because they were poor and they were undeveloped, okay, tax was not imposed in their kind of countries, okay, in some countries. But what happened with the advancement of globalization, what happened was, these non-tax had to be removed, okay, no tax system had to be removed, and they had to be taxed on certain things, okay, and the custom duties, okay, the transporting of goods, okay, in which tax were being taken, okay, had to be reduced to the international level, okay, because of which, okay, countries were not benefited, okay, developing countries did not benefit out of it, because it was only benefiting the already developed countries, okay. So when tax was being imposed in poor and underdeveloped countries, it was not the country that was progressing, okay, it was not a country which benefited, it was only those developed countries were the one which benefited out of it, okay. Next is the developed countries, okay, they talked about free flow of goods, as well as free flow of finished products, primary goods, financial, insurance services, and capital, okay. So these are all involved with globalization, okay, and also they talked about free flow of labor, okay. But what happened is, when these laborers are working in their own country, what they do is they try to reduce the wages of these people, okay, whereas the same job when they are doing in other areas, okay, what they do is they earn more money, okay, compared to the ones that they are earning in their own country, okay, which also creates a huge amount of unemployment among the people, okay. And the next point, okay, that is the third point, okay. So according to the third point, okay, those developed countries, they want to invest in those countries, okay, where their industries or their manufacturing industries, okay, their manufacturing time is very short, okay, or their developing period is very short, okay. When countries development is very short, okay, developed countries want to invest their money in such kind of activities, okay, because the time span for developing something will be very short, okay, and it will benefit only the developing country, it will benefit only the developed countries, okay. So what they want to focus more is, they want to focus on those developing countries, okay, where their works are for a very short period of time, okay, because it will benefit the developed countries only, okay. So they want to invest in such kind of countries where work can be done easily, okay, without consuming much time. This is because of low credit ranking, okay, because of low credit rating, okay, and high rate of inflation, okay. Once a person takes a loan, okay, their interest rate is so high, okay, because they have to pay huge amount of interest, okay. What happens is, because of such reason, okay, because of low credit and high rates of inflation, okay, what happens is the interest rate becomes very high, okay, and once countries they start taking loan, okay, they have to pay extra of it because the interest rate goes up, okay. Next, the fifth point, okay, so the custom duties. Okay, the custom duties are cut off, okay, in developing countries, and it causes and it affects the poor countries in two ways. Okay, that is, firstly, okay, what happens is it reduces the revenue of the country, okay, and it makes it difficult for the government, okay, to run programs, okay, which are for the welfare of the poor, because it is only through these kind of custom duties that they charge, okay, they are able to take care of the various kind of schemes and programs for the poor. Okay, when it has been cut down, okay, they are facing difficulty in running this kind of programs as well as welfare. Secondly, what happens is, when custom duties are being cut off, okay, import of foreign goods or import of foreign luxury goods becomes at large, okay, becomes very large, and people have to waste a lot of money because of that. Globalization also, okay, reduces the participation of the government, because many private industries and many public and private enterprises comes up, okay, and when this comes up, what happens is the government is not able to do much of the thing, okay, and they have to face deficit in financing, okay, and also they have to reduce the subsidy of food grains, okay. So these are the problems which are caused because of globalization. Even though a lot of changes have been happening because of globalization, these are some of the factors which hampers the countries all around the world, okay, with which we come to the end of this chapter, okay, and with this, okay, we will continue with the next chapter in our next class. Thank you and have a nice day.